Hey beauties, morning to you. You know, I was listening to Creflo Dollar recently speaking, and he said he remembered a particular year he went to, was it Brazil? One of those countries, not, known for an English speaking country. And based on the condition of where he went, he and his team had gone, that the schools were little to none. They weren't really thriving. They were not really prospering the way they ought to. And as I said, little to none to no schools. Sorry. And he said that he and his team started to build schools, build and build and build. That the government officials reached out to them to say, "Stop, please. You're making us look really bad because this is under our portfolio. This is under our portfolio." And to see a church from a different country having to come because they see the decadence, they see the bad state. I just don't remember which country. I don't want to, call the wrong country. But wherever it was, doesn't matter where it was, wherever it was, and they saw the need, they gave back in terms of how they could have given back in a fundamental way, in a meaningful way, because we know that education is key. Solid education is key to one's spiritual growth, social growth, mental growth, psychological growth, and perhaps, a strong determining factor in them growing financially. The government officials reached out to him and his team and said, we shame. I mean, I'm going to use hyperbole for you to understand. They didn't have to speak like that. But I have to dramatize it for you to understand how much it must have really made them look bad for them to reach out. Because usually people feel good for AIDS. Government feel good when they get aid. But this kind of aid look bad because they already have taxes. The taxes that people pay are to help build and fix roads, build and fix schools, build and fix hospitals. If people are suffering and not working, unemployed, help. If somebody's underemployed, meaning their educational level is very high, for example, but the salaries are a joke and they're struggling, especially if they have people to take care of, whether children, old people, or bills, or whatever they have. And they are not doing it, and other people are coming in and aiding them. And when I think of Jamaica, that we are now at a point where I was watching the news where it stated that because they're limited, or there is little to no expert teachers, some subjects will have to be dropped. And my question is, are these core subjects? It has to be, for it to be a cause for concern. For it to be a cause for concern. But we need to get some Creflo dollars or whoever it is to come and invest in the country and directly do it. Not put it in no government fund or anything like that, because Jamaica seems to not going to be thriving if it doesn't happen in that fashion. The countries are go backwards, but it's like we're in a marathon, a backwards running kind of marathon. With running blindly, not looking behind quick enough to see what is happening. Backward marathon, fruitless, baseless, weightless. It is not profiting anything. Jesus, Father, we need you right now in Jamaica, because this cannot be real. And people are tired of crying out. I see people, when I scroll social media, I see people trying. They are trying. They are trying in their own little way. But, in Jamaica, we're really not supportive like that, The time when everybody might join in together. If an athlete is running, if we're playing some football, if somebody enter a world thing, then you might see Jamaicans joining. But when it is to fight for our own in terms of justice, truth, rights, fairness, equality where equality is needed, equity, we scatter like mad ants. I was reading about red ants versus black ants. Although I'm not superstitious and in it, it said that when you see a lot of red ants, them say, why some sort of crosses or bad news you get. But the black ones bringing wealth and all of that. I smiled to myself. The number of red ads where people probably see, they must say, boy, it seems like it real. I kid you not. Huh? My goodness gracious. The country just go right back a bush, with all of these buildings going up. Sometimes I drive miss some building tie, like they come like skyscraper. I wonder if the Tower of Babel being reenacted. But remember what happened when them things that they could go up into the heavens, God just confused them and everybody chat all kind of madness all over the place. People said that is how the different languages came about. Perhaps, I don't know. Building after building after building after building. Just a bill. With no end in sight, it seems. So we're putting a lot of band-aids on sores. So you see these beautiful buildings and people are struggling financially. They know nothing. They know how dry doodle in their butt. I don't want to say the real raw way. I really want to, but I have to be respectful. They know how no dry doodle in their butt. My gosh. Wow. Jamaicans, are we really going to just take this year after year after year after year? At no point will you get tired of the bad treatment. At no point will you get tired of the bullying. At no time will you get tired of the abuse. It is abuse, It is abuse on all angles. Did I say it? All right. It's abuse psychologically. You become depressed, you become stressed, you become broke, you become angry, you become enraged, you become unforgiving, you become bitter, you become moody. Those are not fruits one should bear. It affects us financially. You can't buy anything more than cheap things or tin things, or put back half of what you take up and put in the trolley because you have not sufficient funds. It affects you physically because you become depressed. It gives some people, I've heard people say it gives them headaches, migraines. They become hypertensive, diabetic. Then it develops into some kind of chronic illness or one of those debilitating illnesses and diseases. My God. Beautiful people. Where are we going to take it? And it affects psychological. Some people get mad. I remember a couple of years ago, during the COVID, a taxi man probably had so many debts, he couldn't reach out to anybody because people have their own trials and tribulations. Maybe he tried getting loans and they turned him down because maybe his credit is bad or not earning enough consistently. He killed himself. Remember that beautiful girl that killed herself at, you know where I'm talking, and she left the two handsome boys, big enough children. They were about 17 or thereabout. And some people say because she's mental or whatever it is, or maybe she had financial difficulties. Let me tell you something. Financial difficulties like having a noose around your neck, that's strangling you, You're not dead, but it's like you feel like you're just being carried to death's door. Death's door just swing open, and something push you through, but you're fighting if it go through. It'll push you. Think about like something around your neck, tighten you, stop you from breathing properly, like a bad case of asthma, bronchitis, some respiratory illness in one sweep. That thing can send your graveyard dead. There are 6 basic fears that human beings face. And among the 6, they say, the fear of death is one of them. The fear of loss of love, meaning somebody stop loving you. The fear of old age, a lot of people fear that. And the one that I remember, the fear of money issues. Napoleon Hill's book about think and successful, a success book, sorry. They said the fear of the money, the poverty, and really not having money. The debilitating effects of it, mentally on you, psychologically on you, because as you wake up, you said bills and debts. Now you pick me, I beg you. People outside the road, I beg you, just pan you. You can't 7, 11, 13, 12, 14, I don't even know if I call the numbers. You can't do nothing. You can't enjoy life. You can't buy nothing nice. $1 went to another country and built schools that the government had to reach out and say, stop, it looks bad. This is what we should do. We got the money to do it. When you guys get the money to help people, do you do it? Whether they're poor, they're middle class, rich, do you help them? Let me know. Do you help them? Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this message, please.